That's correct.
Welcome to The Geek and the Detective.
Okay, Detective, let's make this simple. You protect houses every day. I protect networks. The principles are almost identical. Start with the basics. What's the first thing you check when you walk up to a house?
Doors and windows, kid. Always. I'm looking for the basics. Are they locked? Is the wood solid? Any broken glass or pry points? If a front door looks like I could kick it in with one foot, I don't even need to look at the rest of the house. That's where the trouble starts.
Exactly. In my world, that's called the perimeter. Your firewalls, your endpoint protection, your patched systems. If your front door, your software, is running a version from 2018 with known exploits, you're basically leaving it wide open with a welcome mat that says, "Come rob me."
Got it. But even a solid door is useless if the hinges are rusted out or the frame is rotting. I check for maintenance. If you don't take care of the house won't take care of you.
That's patch management. Updating your phone or laptop isn't just about getting new emojis. It's about oiling the hinges and reinforcing the frame. When you hit Remind Me Later on an update, you're essentially leaving a crack in the door that a burglar with a crowbar or a hacker with a script is just waiting to exploit. They don't need a master key if the door is hanging off the hinges.
Speaking of keys, let's talk about the master key. I've seen houses where the owner has one key that opens the front door, the back door, the garage, and the jewelry box. They think it's convenient. I think it's a disaster waiting to happen. If I find that key under a fake rock in the garden, I own your entire life.
That's your email account, Detective. For an average person, their primary email is the master key to their entire life. If a hacker gets into your Gmail or Outlook, they don't even need your bank password. They just go to the bank's website, hit Forgot Password, and the reset link goes right into the inbox they already control.
So they don't even have to pick the lock. They just ask the bank for a new key, and the bank hands it over because the thief is holding the master key. It's like a digital skeleton key.
Precisely. That's why your email needs to have the heaviest lock. Multi-factor authentication, MFA. It's like having a retinal scanner on the door to the room where you keep the master key. Even if they steal the physical key, they can't get into the room to use it without the second check.
I like that. Now, what about the trash? In my world, I've caught more than a few perps by looking through their garbage. People throw away bank statements, credit card offers, even old prescriptions. It's a gold mine for a thief looking to build a profile on you.
That's your data disposal. People sell their old phones or laptops on the internet without wiping them properly. They think deleting a file is like throwing it in the bin. But in the digital world, the bin stays on the curb until you empty the trash, and even better, encrypt the drive.
I tell people to shred their mail. What's the digital shredder?
Factory resets and encryption. If you're getting rid of a device, you need to make sure the data isn't just invisible. You need to make sure it's scrambled. Otherwise, a digital dumpster diver can recover your tax returns and private photos in about 10 minutes.
Makes sense. Let's move to the spare key. Everybody has one. Usually it's with a neighbor or hidden in the wheel well of a car. If the house burns down or you get locked out, that spare is your lifeline.
That is your backup strategy. If your computer gets hit with ransomware, which is basically a digital kidnapper locking your house and demanding money for the key, the only thing that saves you is that spare key.
But if the spare key is hanging on a hook right next to the front door, the burglar finds that too.
Spot on. If your backup drive is plugged into your computer 24/7, the virus will infect the backup at the same time it hits the main drive. You need an off-site backup, like giving a spare key to a trusted friend who lives 3 towns away. Use the cloud or an external drive that you unplug and keep in a drawer. If the house gets infected, your backup stays clean.
Copy that. Next up, cameras. Ring doorbells, floodlights with motion sensors. They don't stop a break-in, but they record who shows up and scare off the lazy ones. But the problem is people turn off the motion alerts because they get too many notifications. My neighbor disabled his ring because the wind kept setting it off.
Same problem. Companies turn off alerts because of too many false positives. Then, when the real attacker walks through, nobody notices. Tuning your detection rules is like adjusting the sensitivity on those motion sensors. Too low and you're blind. Too high and your team burns out.
Like the guy who has the security sign in his yard but never actually pays for the service.
Bingo. You see those yard signs everywhere. Half the time it's a placebo. Same with companies that buy expensive security tools but never configure them properly or respond to alerts.
What about the smart locks? Keypad, app control, auto lock after 30 seconds. Convenient, but I've seen people leave them on vacation mode forever.
Multi-factor authentication, MFA, and privileged access management. The smart lock is your MFA. It adds a second step, so even if someone steals your physical key or your password, they still can't get in. But if you leave it in the default PIN, everyone knows. And if you never change it after the contractor used it, you've defeated the whole purpose.
Motion lights, too. They don't stop anyone, but they make it harder to hide in the dark. Criminals hate being lit up.
Network segmentation and decryption technology. Put your critical servers behind separate VLANs, virtual LAN, and honeypots and canary tokens. When the attacker steps into the wrong part of the network, lights flash, alarms ring, and you know exactly where they are.
So the takeaway is basically the same whether it's a house or a network.
Yes, layer your defenses. Strong locks, visible cameras, working alarms, monitored systems, and regular checks. One weak link and the whole setup fails. Most robberies and most breaches happen because someone skipped the basics.
And the people part?
Same as your neighborhood watch. Train everyone. Your family knows not to open the door for strangers. Your employees need to know not to click on suspicious links. Education is the cheapest and most effective layer.
Copy that. So next time I respond to a house alarm, I'm going to think of it as a triggered EDR alert. But you got me thinking, kid. What about those fancy smart home systems? Everything connected. Lights, thermostat, locks, even the garage door. Sounds convenient until it isn't.
Internet of Things, IoT, is the cybersecurity equivalent to giving every room in your house its own front door to the street. I've seen baby monitors hacked to spy on families and smart fridges used to send spam.
I responded to a burglary last month where the guy didn't break anything. He just used the app to open the garage at 2 a.m. Homeowner had changed the password once, then never again.
Folks, you can't see it, but he just face-palmed. Default credentials or weak passwords, same story every time. Manufacturers ship devices with ADM, and most people never change it. In the network world, it's the same. Routers still running with password as the password. Change it now. But tell me, how often do you see homeowners who changed the password once and then forget, only for it to bite them later in court?
All the time, kid. They swear they updated it, but when we check logs, it's obvious they reuse an old one. We push for multi-step verification, like requiring ID or app confirmation.
Spot on, Detective. That's why MFA is non-negotiable. A password alone is like a single key anyone can copy. Add a second factor, and even if the creds leak, the attacker can't just walk in.
Firmware updates. Yeah, my thermostat kept nagging me. I kept hitting later because it takes 5 minutes.
5 minutes now, or 6 figures and clean up later. IoT devices are notorious for never getting patched. Old exploits never die. They just wait for someone lazy.
So what's the one thing homeowners and small businesses should do tomorrow morning?
Inventory everything connected to the internet. If it doesn't need to be online, can't change the password, or isn't getting updates, fix it or unplug it.
Like doing a walk around on a house before locking up for the night. Speaking of walk-arounds, let's talk about something I see every shift. Delivery drivers. They show up, ring the bell, drop the package, and leave. Most people think that's the end of it.
Delivery personnel are walking social engineering vectors. They get close to the target. They see inside the house, and they learn the routines.
I've taken reports where porch pirates steal packages, but I've also had cases where the driver was the thief. One guy used his uniform to case houses. He was noting security cameras and seeing if dogs were home.
That's physical reconnaissance. In the cyber world, it's the same as a phishing email that looks completely legitimate. The attacker wears the right uniform, a spoofed domain, and a company logo, and you let them in because they look trustworthy.
And people leave notes, kid. Garage code is 2468 if I'm not home. That's handing strangers the keys to your house.
Exactly, Detective. That's like writing your Wi-Fi password on a sticky note and taping it to your router. The moment you give an external party access instructions, you've created a vulnerability.
We've had homeowners get hit because the delivery app showed the photo of the front door. Criminals watch for the truck and know exactly when the house is unattended.
Timing attacks. Smart criminals time their moves around predictable patterns.
So what do people do? They can't stop deliveries.
Control what you expose. Use delivery lockers. Use a lockbox with one-time code. No permanent garage codes. In the digital world, we call it need-to-know access. Give the minimum required, then revoke it immediately.
Revoke like changing the garage code after every delivery?
Yes, or use a temporary app-based access that expires. The delivery driver gets access for 60 minutes, then poof, it's gone. No permanent backdoor.
I like that. We've also seen issues with fake delivery attempts. Guy knocks, says he needs a signature, and then it's a distraction theft.
Classic pretexting. Verify identity before granting access. Period. But flip it. What's your go-to move when a suspect claims that they were just delivering something?
Verify the story immediately. Call the company. Never take their word alone.
Exactly like callback verification for phishing. Don't trust the email. Call the real company on a known number to confirm.
And the package itself?
If it's unexpected, treat it like a suspicious email. Don't plug in mystery USB drives. And I'm sure you've seen cases where free sample packages contain tracking devices.
All right, let's tie it all together. What's the big takeaway for anyone listening?
Good security isn't magic. It's boring consistency. Strong barriers, visibility, quick detection, and educated people.
Start with the basics. Lock the doors. Patch the systems. Don't leave admin creds lying around.
Exactly. Then add visibility. Ring doorbells on the physical side, firewalls, and logging on the digital side. You can't defend what you can't see.
One more thing. People always ask about pets. Dogs, cats, how do they change the picture? I've seen a big dog set off a whole alarm system.
Pets are chaos agents. Start with the basics. Motion sensors. Roaming dogs or cats trigger false alarms. That's why pet immune sensors exist. They ignore anything under a certain weight.
Yeah, I've recommended those. But placement is key. Mount sensors higher, away from stairs where pets climb.
Same principle in cyber. Don't rely on one detection method. Use layered tools. Cameras with AI that can tell a dog from a person. But here's the problem. Every smart pet feeder or camera is an IoT device. A reminder, Internet of Things.
And you said earlier those are just front doors for hackers.
Exactly. Let me break down why that smart feeder is actually a Trojan horse, Detective. Most people think that pet feeder is just talking to their phone. It's not. It's a three-way conversation you didn't invite.
A three-way? Who else is on the line?
The cloud. See, to make it convenient so you can feed Buster from your office, that feeder has to stay connected to the manufacturer's server. That means that there is a permanent open tunnel running through your kitchen, through your Wi-Fi router, out to the server in a country you've never visited.
So if someone hijacks that server, they're essentially inside my kitchen.
You got it. And here's the kicker. These devices are built for price, not protection. To keep that feeder under $50, the manufacturer uses the cheapest chips available. They don't have the processing power to run encryption or antivirus software. They are thin devices, meaning that they are basically wide open windows.
I see it in my world too, kid. People buy the cheapest padlocks at the hardware store. They look shiny, but I can pop them with a heavy screwdriver in 5 seconds.
That's exactly what a botnet does. Hackers use automated tools to scan the whole internet for these specific cheap chips. Once they find your feeder, they don't even care about your cat's kibble. They turn your feeder into a zombie. They install a tiny bit of code that tells your feeder to start attacking other websites, or act as a sniffer to watch the traffic on your home network.
A sniffer? Like a K9 unit?
Sort of. It sits there quietly listening. It waits for you to log into your bank on your laptop. Since the feeder is already inside your Wi-Fi, it can sometimes see data that your firewall thinks is safe because it's coming from inside the house. It's like having a spy hiding in a pantry while you're at the kitchen table writing checks.
And what about the smart home hubs? The things that connect the lights, the locks, and the cameras all into one app.
That's the skeleton key. If I get into your hub, I don't have to hack your locks individually. I just tell the hub that I'm the owner. I can then turn off your cameras, unlock your front door, and turn your thermostat up to 100 degrees just to be a jerk, all while sitting in a cafe across town.
It's a total collapse of the perimeter. You've let the thief in to install the alarm, and then you gave him the master code.
Precisely, Detective. That's why I tell people if it's smart, it's vulnerable. Treat it like any smart device. Change defaults, use unique passwords, and keep firmware updated. Secure the tech, and your four-legged alarm system stays an asset, not a liability.
Noted. I'm checking my motion zones for cat paths tonight.
Good call. And update that pet cam firmware while you're at it, Detective.
Solid advice to end on. Thanks for breaking it down, Geek.
Thanks for keeping it real, Detective. Stay safe out there. Check your locks tonight.
You too, kid. Both kinds of locks.
Deal. Until next time, transmission ending.
Go get some sunlight, kid. You look like a ghost.
Sunlight has radiation. I prefer the glow of the monitor.
God help us all.
Shutdown sequence initiated.
Finally.
3, 2, 1.
Just turn it off.
Done.
Thanks for listening to The Geek and the Detective. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. It helps others find the show and stay protected. Tune in next month for our next episode. Stay safe.